Hi Cancer, here is a general look at your solar chart for October 2012, and the news of astrological note this month is the move of Saturn on October the 6th from the root of your chart, where it has been since 2009. The home base, the neighborhood or family commitments, family members may have been causing more limitation in your life and extra responsibility over that long period there. And of course, as with all of the planets, you will have felt the influence the most when the transiting degree of Saturn went across one of the degrees of your Sun or important points in your chart. The new angle that Saturn will make isn't as heavy as the previous one. Saturn moves on October the 6th and will remain in the area until 2015. So, in fact, it will tend to urge you to work harder and be more persevering with children and activities and projects that you find personally empowering but which need a structure and need you to be persevering about erecting and building that structure by working within that structure too. But because it's in Scorpio, a fellow water sign, it's going to very much be underpinning and supporting your Cancerian energies, so that's good news. And I think you will be able to see the rewards coming to you from that. Yes, putting up with the obstacles and the limitations, because wherever Saturn goes for us all, that's the deal. But seeing the rewards coming to you a little bit more easily, a little bit more quickly. And some of you may be taking your creativity more seriously, if the artists among you as well, really going for maybe a major project, or if you're not an artist, just going for a major project and overcoming the obstacles, clearing the hurdles, being more structured and consistent as you go forward. And that might be about children, young people as well. And anything about the entertainments industry or entertainments and leisure pursuits also. You can be more supportive and parental or authoritarian to do with children. Authoritarian meaning in a good way, not tyrannical and dominant, but in a good way authoritarian, with anything to do with children, young people, a project, but also to do with your own creativity, your own spontaneous, joyful inner child. So it's taking that inner child of you, Cancer, more seriously. And in fact, any project which is to do with slowly building towards something which takes time to unfold, Saturn, you see, rules time. So this is the deal with Saturn. It's about taking time for something to grow and for you to construct within that time frame there. So anything which takes time to unfold will fit this position of Saturn, this transit of Saturn, very well. Now, about October, otherwise, just to rewind a little bit, so that will lift the pressure that many of you Cancerians have been feeling, because you Cancerians, along with the other cardinal signs, Capricorn, Aries and Libra, have been undergoing a triple whammy really since for a few years now, and at least this will take Saturn out of the equation, and Saturn can be pretty heavy, and then you're just left with Uranus and Pluto, which are transpersonal planetary energies moving very, very slowly on the outer area of our solar system. Yes, you feel them when the transiting degree hits one of your important degrees, but Saturn the absence of Saturn means that the heaviness will be lifted away from there. So that's good news. Now then, about October, the focus will be in and around the base of operations more, whether that's your home or not. Family matters could be more on the agenda. Neighborhood relationships could be more emphasized. Property may be a feature. and conversations and discussions centered around property, because Mercury is going to be in there until the 5th. So centered around this quite emotional area, actually. In fact, it's your house of the zodiac Cancer that the Sun's going to be in. And so you know what you're doing here. It can be about a property or about a space inside or outside, and in some respects your gaze will be very much right in your own backyard. And quite literally, in your shell, in your nest, and within the neighborhood, within the locality, very much so. For some of you, something to do with the past may make itself felt in the present, blast from the past sort of thing. It may feel empowering for you to connect with nature. In fact, I would say highly likely that there is going to be something important, some perhaps support you're feeling coming from nature or your surroundings, or in fact both, and the abundance of Mother Earth, the loving unconditional, really loving nature of Mother Earth, and all the good things that can bring to you, that feeling of support within, and that feeling of stability within. Until the 5th, discussions and maybe differences of opinion could involve this area, family matters, or centered around property or a space, or the neighborhood. Conversations may be to do with more conversations through more paperwork and correspondence could be related to any of that as well, forms or that kind of thing too. Some of you could have more contact with parents at this time, particularly the father, but it doesn't have to be the father, but just parents at this time, and also harking back to traditions, in the past, legacy maybe of some kind, your mind being more aware there of those sorts of the foundations that you come from, your own history, but also foundations in history in general, a history of a place maybe. So all of that could be on your mind more, and also you'll probably be toing and froing and coming and going a lot more as well. But that's only up until the 5th, and then from the 5th Mercury changes and goes into a more relaxed, chilled area of your solar chart. There may be more entertainment on offer, or at least you're in the mood to go to where there's entertainment, or to actually open yourself to it. A good time for you to be hanging out with mates, children, young people, lovers, pets, just doing things that make you feel good, that help you align with your core, make you feel more in your creativity, more in your power. But also it's an area of romance, so admiring glasses could be coming your way as well. And now Venus, the planet of flow, is still in your piggy bank sector up until the 3rd. So it's been there for much of September, and it's coming out of there on the 3rd. So that means, and if you're listening to this in September, that means that you can do better materially, financially, or at least there's a buffer or a cushion there. Or if it's to do with a deal of some kind, or a series of sort of mini deals, you can get yourself a bargain or two. Anyway, Venus moves out of that area there and into the communication sector on the 3rd. This transit could favorably connect you with siblings, or if that's not likely, then it's going to be soul brothers or sisters. And very much you feeling clicking, with others around you. Also, this is a good time to settle a feud, because you just know how to say the right thing. With Venus here, you could help you negotiate. Definitely, you can be very diplomatic, but also it can bring grace and flow and ease to your thinking and speaking. But also, it's good news for your artistic children of the crab, because it just means that that will be more flowing there, and you can be more fluent artistically. It also softens or makes what you're hearing from others seem more reasonable or even delightful. It could be that. And some of you could have more access to entertainment, or in this toing and froing, seeing things that you really appreciate and picking up little snippets of information, having little chats here and there and everywhere, and generally, feeling quite good about that. But also, this is a good position for buying, selling, negotiating, promoting, anything like that. Now, Mars continues in a more playful and, for some of you, romantic area until the 7th. So, if you are listening to this in September, then because that's where Mars will have been throughout September, it's an area where you get the opportunity to be more spontaneous, lighter, less guarded or self-conscious, more creative in certain company, in certain places, and more occasions when you tend to feel the center of attention. But also, Mars is about physical activities, so maybe you're having physical demands put on you because of young people, or creative activities, or competitive activities, because this can be quite a competitive area too. It can be about financial speculation or enterprises with an element of risk in them. Enterprises or pursuits with an element of risks in them. And as Mars tends to be hasty, then just watch your step. Then from the 7th, Mars moves into an area of more serious area to do with service, getting things how you want them to be organized, being there to help others, but also coordinating with them so that you have you need to protect your energy levels, really. Engineering space for yourself to do nurturing, healthy kind of things, but also it's an area of quite hard work, so you might be really going for it, whatever the it is about, and you can be very productive. And this is an area of daily chores, employment, the job, but also health, yours or another's, and also providers, therapists, service providers, medical people, colleagues, employers or potential employers, or employees or potential employees. So all of that kind of vibe here, this planet Mars, the planet of physical action, of decision and initiative, is going to be in this area from the 7th. And there is possibly going to be somebody rubbing you up the wrong way or irritating you and sort of making you feel a bit prickly, because that is something that happens with you Cancer being so sensitive in this area here. So just remember to be firm about your needs and requirements, and then you should be fine, and don't overdo it. And then from the 23rd, there's a creative, more outgoing, less emotional vibration around. And that's it for October. If you're not on my website already, and you haven't read them already, then have a look and see what the slower moving outer planets are doing, because you can set what I've said here against the background of that. It gives you more of an idea. And also, if you know your rising sign or your moon sign, listen to the forecast for those, and if you piece all of that together, you might get sort of an inkling of what's coming up in October. And I hope that helps, and I'll see you the next time.